Yo, what is going on, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 gameplay video. Hey, in this video we're going to be talking about the Trials of Osiris. Its glorious return. Is it good? Like, what's the verdict? You know, after the first full weekend, I waited to make this video because I didn't want to make it on day one, didn't want to make it on day two. I wanted to get through the whole weekend, really flesh out my experience, and have some good thoughts to present based on my multiple hours of gameplay. I mean, I played a ton of Trials this weekend. I got over a dozen flawless cards finished out. I played with some friends. We did lots of, I don't want to call them carries, more like helpies, because there's a lot of people that they just don't have a fire team to play with. It's not that they're bad players and can't go flawless. It's that they just don't have people to play with. So we held raffles all weekend, and literally every single person that won a raffle, we got flawless, without exception. And if you're interested, I even did a flawless passage on PC, which I never play PC, but hopped over there, knocked out a flawless passage. So my schedule, by the way, if you're looking to ever get involved in some Trials passages with us, I play with friends on Friday. I take Saturday off to be with the wife and the kids. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's the short answer. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. If you want to get involved in a Trials passage, that's when to do it through my content at truevanguard.com, by the way. All right. So let's talk about Trials. Is it good? What's good about it? Okay, my final verdict is that this was a fantastic return for Trials. I mean, you may argue about the, I don't know, the AR spam, maybe the hard light spam, but just sideline that for a second. Obviously, that's not gonna be a thing forever. Metas come and go, and you know, that's not gonna be the thing that defines Trials as a whole, as an experience. So that will change. The meta will always be used there, no doubt. There's always going to be the thing that's used way more than everything else. It's just the way that Destiny goes. Right now, Hard Light Revoker is kind of the meta. I didn't use a Hard Light a single match this weekend. To put that into perspective, I did not touch Hard Light at all and still managed to do, you know, like I said, over a dozen flawless runs. So you don't have to use the meta. I know talented players can often get around without using it, but truth be told, I mean, if you stay close to cover, use your cover well, you can play whatever your favorite way to play, whatever you're most comfortable with, you can make it work in Trials. You really can. Don't feel like you have to fit somebody else's mold. You really don't. And quite honestly, Hard Light Revoker is more effective on PC than it is on console. And so if you're trying to play around the meta, I mean, I did a flawless passage on PC using, well, I used Bastion and a sidearm for half the card, and I used Revoker sidearm for half the card. And again, on a lot of the gameplay you're going to see here in this video, I'm using Revoker sidearm, so you can get around it. But let's talk about the loot drop system. So the loot drops this time are different. Okay, you get a loot drop at win number 3, you get a drop at win number 5, you get a drop at win number 7, regardless of if your passage has been has a loss on it or not. At win number 7, you're going to get a drop. And then if you go flawless, you get to go to the lighthouse and you get a pinnacle drop. Also out of that chest, you're going to get masterwork materials like prisms and ascendant shards, and even you know, your enhanced armor mods. So I got some, I got enhanced pulse rifle targeting this weekend. I got enhanced sidearm dexterity and some other stuff. So you can also get those out of that chest. So those drops, they're not going to be the same every time. Obviously, I saw a lot of people complaining. They're like, man, I'm never going to get the Trials armor because I can't go flawless. Hey, Bungie already confirmed. So there's 4 drops every week. Now, what those drops are and how many wins they require is just going to be, it's going to change every week. So for all we know, next week could, for example, be win number 3 gets you the helmet, and win number 5 gets you the boots, and then win number 7 gets you a hand cannon. Yeah, we don't know. It's going to be random every time. So you'll eventually get your full armor set. You'll eventually get the full arsenal, because those drops are just going to rotate randomly every week. We'll have to figure out what they are as we go along. So don't sweat it. If you didn't get your armor drop this weekend because it was the flawless loot, next week it probably won't be the flawless loot. 2 weeks in a row would be my guess. So rest assured. We also have this new token system. Okay, well, new. It's a token system. We have a token system. It's new to Trials of Osiris, I should say. But as you're completing matches, whether you win or lose, you're going to be getting tokens. And as you're completing bounties, you're going to get these tokens. Now, here's the thing. Those tokens go away at reset. So you have, during that Trials specific weekend, to use those tokens. And those tokens you take back to Saint 14, you turn them in, and you can redeem packages, rank up packages. For every 20 tokens you turn in, you can get a package. Now that package can only include loot that you have already had drop that weekend. Okay, does that make sense? So if you've been playing a bunch of different cards, but you never got past 3 wins, then when you go back to Saint 14 to turn in your tokens this weekend, you would have only had the Scholar in your loot pool. That's the Trials Scout Rifle, right? But if you got 5 wins, then anytime you turn in tokens, it could be either the Scholar or the Rocket Launcher from this week. If you got 7 wins, it could be the Scholar, the Rocket Launcher, or the Fusion Rifle. If you went flawless this week, then anytime you went to turn in tokens, it could be the Scout Rifle, the Rocket Launcher, the Fusion Rifle, or the Gauntlets. Okay, does that make sense? So your loot pool will only include drops you've already obtained for that specific weekend. Okay, so it was a great way for me to get some better rolls. I mean, I played a ton. I didn't get a god roll on the Fusion Rifle like I really wanted to. I'm really looking for Friendly Planet and Celerity, but I turned in hundreds of tokens, hundreds and hundreds of tokens, and I did get like some really nice stat rolls on those gauntlets. I got a 65 stat roll with High Discipline for my Warlock that I completely masterworked, because by the way, now I'm getting masterwork materials because I don't like to farm Nightfalls. It's just not my thing. So I never really had a lot of Ascendant Shards or Prisms. Basically my shards came from the season passes every season. I only did one real Nightfall farming session, and I was bored out of my mind doing it, so I never did it again. So it's so nice to have masterwork materials available to PvP players again. That is so nice, and that brings me to my next point about Trials and its update. Such a great quality of life change is that you can farm flawless passages. That's right. If you're really good at PvP, or maybe you're just mediocre but you still like playing Trials, hey, every time you go flawless, you're gonna get loot. You're gonna get loot. But make sure, by the way, if you get your 7 wins, stop right there, go to the lighthouse. Because if you get a loss in your passage, even if you went flawless and then you keep going and get a loss on it, if there's a loss on your passage, you can't go. So as soon as you hit 7 wins on that passage, you go ahead and go to the lighthouse and you collect your loot. Otherwise, you may miss out on your opportunity. So you go there, you collect your loot, and if you've already got your pinnacle drop for the weekend, it's no sweat. Every time you go, you're going to get a Trials drop. So for whatever that week's loot pool is, you'll get one of those things randomly. It won't just be the flawless designated drop every time. It could be, like this week, it could have been the Scholar, the Rocket, the Fusion, or the Gauntlets when you go flawless for a second time on the same character. But you're also going to get, every time you open that chest, a chance at enhanced armor mods and a chance to get masterwork materials. So I probably got, I want to say, I probably got probably 8 Ascendant Shards this weekend. I probably got about 8 Ascendant Shards and a bunch of Prisms. It's so nice because I'm actually able to masterwork my PvP gear. Something I can never do, right? It's always just sitting at 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, whatever. So nice to be able to actually fully level up my gear. So nice. So I'm looking forward to continue to farming flawless passages and getting the drops that I really want. Okay, the next thing that I see is a major improvement. Revives work differently than they did in Destiny 1. If you are actively reviving a teammate and you take damage, it's going to stop. It's going to pause that revive. It's not going to reset it, but it's going to pause it. If you're actively taking damage, then the revive circle cannot fill up, okay? And so that makes it so that revive trains are not actually as advantageous. It's not a real good strategy like it was in D1. In D1, if I was winning my one-on-one gunfight with a player and they knew, oh crap, I'm about to die, but they're standing on a body of their teammates, they could just get that revive and then die. But then now I'm in a 1v1, I have to reload my gun, and I'm in a 1v1 with a guy that just got res, he's got his ammo, he's got his guns reloaded, and he has an overshield. And so it's actually a good strategy in D1 to go for the revive if you're losing your gunfight, which really freaking sucked if you're the other guy. Revive trains aren't spammable like they were in D1. Like I said, the revive can be interrupted when the player takes damage. Secondly, did I just say A and then secondly? I don't know. I should probably stay consistent. Firstly, and then secondly, there's a timer on the revives, right? So the first time you go down, you can basically be picked up right away. But after that, you're looking at an 11-second timer if you go down a second time. So you can't just spam those revives. And then additionally, the third thing about revives that's different is that you can instantly do damage to somebody that's revived. In Destiny 1, there was like this timing, right? Where you see the revive, and the person kind of respawns, and they kind of crouch down, and then they stand up. And right when they stand up, that's when you can actually do damage and get your res snipe. Don't wait for that person to stand up in D2, okay? The second you see their player model, there's no immune frames, they can take damage. They can't move yet because they just got revived. They have to do their whole like standing up animation still, but they can take damage. Go ahead and start shooting them. Get that res snipe instantly when they're crouched down, they're sort of hunkered down. Take that shot right then and there, baby. You don't need to wait, because in Trials, you know, matches and sometimes games are decided by split-second decisions. Don't waste time waiting for the guy to stand up. Just take the shot, right? Just take the shot. So that is very, very nice. Next thing I would say that is an improvement, quality of life improvement, is that we have multiple different kinds of passages now that you can farm. So you don't have to just run your boons like there was a boon system in D1, and it was just like buy all your boons. There was no creativity to it. It was just go buy all your boons, and then we go in, right? This time around, you've got a mercy passage, which I recommend if you're just trying to go flawless for the week, get your first flawless. Most people just run your mercy. You're gonna every now and then you're gonna lose matches. It happens. Even if you're a really, really good team, every now and then you're gonna lose matches. It happens. Literally, some of the people who are called the best players in the game lost matches this weekend, and oftentimes they lost matches to teams that were arguably not as good as they were. They just happened to play better for the. You know, elim is so funny. It can go any way. Elimination can go anybody's way. Sometimes you're just not landing your snipes. I've put up really embarrassing scores in elimination matches before because just for one game, my snipes just weren't hitting, or I was just unlucky. You know, there's a lot of different factors that could play into it. So run your mercy if you're just trying to get your first flawless for the weekend. You've also got another passage that's going to give you extra tokens. So maybe you've already got your loot that you want out of the weekend, but now you just want to get extra tokens, more tokens, so you can turn them into Saint and farm for a god roll of whatever the loot is that you want, right? You've got one that gives you XP. Maybe you just want to level up your season rank. You want to level up your artifact. Well, put that one on and just get extra XP as you're playing. You can get one for double drops. I mean, there's tons of options for you to really tailor make your Trials passage according to your needs, which is really nice. Another thing, it's so nice to have connection-based, card-based matchmaking. I did not struggle with a lot of lag. The only real lag that we had to deal with that was bad was actually on PC, surprisingly, with players from different parts of the world using VPNs to designate a different location, and we had to play against teams that were, you know, geographically nowhere close to us. I didn't really have a lot of issues on console though. Lag was not, surprisingly, was not really a main factor. But there's a lot of people playing right now, so you got a big player pool, and connection is prioritized. It was pretty smooth this weekend. It was honestly really smooth this weekend. And then obviously the last thing is just that Trials has so much hero moment potential for any and every player. Anyone can have a clutch play. You know, I saw a lot of players give up this week. You know, their two teammates go down and then they just sit down, they emote, they jump off the map, whatever. I would encourage you, don't do that. You know, don't do that. Don't give up on yourself. Give yourself the opportunity to make a play, because, you know, you can never do anything cool if you never try. And when you need to clutch up, you're going to have no practice. You're going to be like, well, usually in this situation, I just kill myself, or I let them kill me, but it's 4-4, and I really need to get this. I really need to get this clutch, but I have no practice under my belt. Well, you screwed yourself over, because every time you had the opportunity, you didn't take advantage of it. You can't learn how to clutch if you never put yourself in the position to try. So don't do that. You got a lot of hero moment potential in Trials of Osiris. Take advantage of it. Trust me. So anyways, those are my thoughts about Trials. Hopefully you enjoyed the gameplay. A lot of these, some of these are clutch plays where I'm last man standing. Some of these were just, you know, 3-person team wipes and stuff like that. Right. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Last thing I would say, gamer subs. Gamer subs gave a bunch of free samples away to my community last weekend. And like hundreds of people gobbled those up, got the free shipping, got the free samples, etc. And hundreds of people got those and enjoyed those. So if you're interested in trying out gamer subs, they decided to go ahead and give our community a code True Vanguard, and then you can get a discount on your purchase. It's 10% right now. It was 20% over the weekend just to celebrate trials. I think it's back down to 10% is the standard for that discount code now. So feel free to take advantage of that. If it's received well, hey, they might throw my logo on some shakers and stuff like that. We can give those away too. So feel free to try that out. Thanks so much for watching the video, guys. Hopefully you had a wonderful weekend in trials, and I look forward to seeing you and maybe even playing with you on my stream sometime at TrueVanguard.com. Take it easy, y'all. Bye-bye.